You'll never know the heartache of looking a grown man in the eye, and he asked, am I gonna make it? And you've gotta lie. Well, they call me Doc, but I ain't got no degree. When shit hits the fan, they're calling for me. From bluegrass, Kentucky, with red blood on my hands, nobody calls me hero except for my friends. Yeah, they call me Doc.
Hey guys, welcome brothers and sisters to the 6th episode of Sick Call with Doc. There for you then, here for you now. Welcome Joe Misfit Glenn, my co-host. I'm Ron Doc Walbeck, United States Navy Hospital Combat Veteran. Today, we've got a really special guest. We've pulled him out of the production cave, put him in the hot seat today. Our guest, United States Army Combat Veteran, Bryan Roof. Welcome.
Don't call me an Army Combat Veteran ever again. But I was actually a Marine Corps. I was ready to be a Marine. You know, it's okay. It's okay, bro. Yeah, you've gotten it right every other time, but now that I'm on the show, you fucked it up. So
good job, Doc.
Cut.
Navy guys, man. Jeez.
That is the worst I could have
You know what, bro? It's because you've had so many Army guys on. We'll just go with that. You know what I mean? So
yeah, that is true. That is true. Thanks for the mulligan.
I'll send him some crayons, Rod. Don't worry about it, man. I'll send him
guess what? And we're not editing this out either. So
I know it. It's okay, guys.
No, we're good, man. Thank you guys for having me on the show and bringing me out from the background.
Yeah. Yeah, Bryan, you're super charismatic, man. I think everybody needs to see what you got going on, man. We enjoy your shows too, man. I've been looking at them. They're pretty cool.
Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate that, man. And I love what you guys got going on, right? And that's why I was willing to stand behind it. You guys are putting together an amazing show. You guys had some amazing guests on, and I feel like it's what the world needs to hear right now, right? We all need to hear that this plant, that a lot of us are now using, that eliminates a lot of different pills and stuff like that. It's doing us a lot of good, and it's not messing our bodies up.
Yeah.
So.
Yep, I agree 100%.
But yeah, man, I'm glad to be here on the show and, get this on the road.
Hell yeah.
Well, where do you want to start out, man? Giving a little bit of a history always catches up our listeners to know a little background on our guests. And that way they've got something to fall back to. So where do you want to start today, brother?
Well, hell, man, I can start off. I grew up in a town in California called Palmdale, California. Born and raised there, went to high school, played football, wrestling. Then it kind of, my vision really actually was to leave high school and go play football. That was like always kind of my thing. I really love football. I love smacking the shit out of dudes and not getting in trouble, and it's just, I was able just to take out a lot of my anger and stuff. I love the sport, man. So, but unfortunately, I'm 5'11" and as a lineman, that really didn't cut it for the height wise. I had some small offers to like D2 schools and stuff like that, but I had no discipline while I was in high school. I mean, I kept a fucking log of my ditches and all that stuff because you could have up to 15 absences a quarter. I had a logbook in it for every period. If I missed it, I gave myself a tally, and I knew exactly how many absences I could have. You know what I mean? So, one day to get out of class, they're like, "Oh yeah, there's this ASVAB test that they're doing. It's for military. You guys could take it and see how you score on it." And my girlfriend at the time was going, and I was like, I'm gonna go sit next to her for 4 hours and and get out of class for 4 hours. It sounds like a damn good deal. So I went in there, took the ASVAB with no intention on ever joining the military, like I said. Well, fast forward, graduate kind of when I get out of high school. I was already enrolled at the junior college to go play football. I was number 75, all that stuff, getting ready to go play there. And then I had a job that I was working up in the mountains, cleaning cabins and stuff like that. I just kind of got tired of like living with my parents and asking them for gas money here and there, and kind of like, oh, you know how it is. You ask your parents for something, sometimes they give you shit. So tired of giving shit. So, man, I decided one day I was kind of bored and was looking through the phone book, and back then when we had the yellow pages and shit, and
right.
And lo and behold, man, I decided to go through and call the different branches. I was already kind of turned off to the Army just because the recruiter was just so persistent with me in high school that he actually kind of turned me off to it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I kind of skipped through them, called the Air Force, called the Navy. I went in and talked to the Navy. The Navy kind of scared me with like, you better answer no to all questions. No means Navy opportunities. Yes is a disqualification, right? And I was looking through their shit, and it kind of scared me. I was like, oh, I smoke weed, partied a little bit, you know what I mean? They kind of had me a little bit like worried.
Mm-hmm.
So then I actually went and talked to the Marine Corps recruiter. It was his name's Staff Sergeant Burke. I'll never forget the dude. I still got his little card too. And he had me come in, and he just got me pumped up for the Marine Corps. Like, you like camping? You like shooting weapons and shit? Yeah, I love camping. I love shooting. Yeah, fuck it.
You love camping.
Yeah, just all these things. He just made it. He really got me, man, at that age where I'm like, camping? Hell yeah. I was like, they camp in the fucking military? And their version of camping.
Yeah.
Oh man, half shelters and isomats. Yeah, boys.
Yeah.
But anyhow, so the staff sergeant got me, into the Marines, pushing towards the Marine Corps. He had asked me like, hey man, you ever do stuff? And I was like, yeah, man, I kind of just stopped smoking weed, like I kind of did smoke weed for a little bit. He's like, well, we could take you to go get you a piss test before we go and make sure you're okay before they send me down to MEPS.
Mm-hmm.
So I did it, popped, and the guy's like, oh, well, I guess we'll have to wait a week before we actually go. So thank God we did that whole thing, so
right.
It's like drink lots of water and, do all these things. So I did. And boom, man, 2 weeks later, I'm in MEPS in you go down to LA. Take the whole fucking, physical and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Walk. They make you do all this crazy stuff. Put you on the bus. You stop at Denny's. They give you a steak and lobster dinner.
What?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Before you go to boot camp, it's like your last meal.
Right, the last meal.
Last meal. Boy, you're going to a fucking vacation you'll never forget. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like fucking 12-week vacation that it's wow. And so man, so anyways, get back on the bus. We pull into the MCRD, and for me, I'm just like, this is, you can just see these fucking guys at the gate. They look badass in their fucking dress blues. Yeah. And, there's just a whole persona when you're walking it, when you're driving into MCRD. San Diego is where I went. Hollywood Marine is what they call us. And man, once they stopped, bro, it was just fucking nonstop from there, man. Marine guy comes on, just starts screaming, get the fuck on the footsteps, yo. No one could get on him right. Everybody's wrong. And from that point on, bro, everything was wrong that you did, no matter how right it was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And God forbid you're within fucking any distance of that drill instructor. Hey, get up here. You're getting smoked. Wow, what the fuck did I do? Nothing. Get your ass up here, bitch. Your buddy fucked up. That's what.
Yeah.
Man.
On the way to boot camp, dude, on the bus from O'Hare Airport to Great Lakes, I'm like this shit. I'm like, fucking one after another, bro.
Yeah, because let me tell you, man, once you get there, they strip you of everything. The first thing you do is you go into a room and they strip you basically of all your civilian gear. You know, and God forbid you came with a forbidden item.
Yeah, oh yeah.
You know, like, good Lord. If they ever make an example out of people, the fucking Marines know how to make an example out of everybody, right? So, you know, just be the one guy out of sync or out of this or out of that, boy, you are going to be noticed like, you know, if you're out of sync or anything, I mean, the Marine drill instructors, I mean, I'll tell you, dude, I won't go to, I mean, I could tell stories for days on this whole shit, but I'll give you one good boot camp story that like sticks with me. And when you get, so like when you first get in there, you go through like 3 to 4 days. It's like the receiving part. It's like the going through, they make you do all your paperwork. They shave your head. They issue your camis. You do all your tax paperwork, all the things that you're supposed to do, right? And so you're with a receiving guy for a while. And then they teach you about Firewatch and like how to march and all that stuff. Then on a Friday, and they call it a Black Friday, this is the moment when they release you to your true, real drill instructors, which typically is about 4 of them. There's a senior, a junior, and then there's like 2 other guys that are like just fucking flies on shit, right? Like,
monsters.
Like every one of those guys kind of have a job to do. And so there's just so many eyes on you, man. So on that Black Friday, when they go to release you, if you've been a goofball this whole time or in reception, boy, they take notes and they hand it over to those guys, and they I mean, you're identified immediately. But that Black Friday, man, they release us all, and the drill instructors come out and they fucking start screaming at everybody, and they tell us to go get online. And everybody's like, what? You know, so we're like trying to figure it out. Everybody's running into each other. You know, and then we get on, they have foot lockers, and we had to sit there two a bunk, because you got a top and a bottom, and then you had a foot locker, 2 foot lockers. So you had to stand in front of them. And at POA, position of attention. Well, bro, we're all sitting there, right? And I have this worst itch on my face. And I'm like, oh gosh, I got an itch so bad. They're tearing up some dude down pretty far down on the squad bay. I mean, they're in his ass, like 3 of them. Fucking, you know, just spitting on him, bro. Like, and I'm just like, this is a perfect opportunity to get this itch out, you know. And so I go fast and shit, dude, with the slightest, like, and it's the opposite side that they're on, right? So I'm thinking, there's no way they see this. He must have heard the scratch, because the fool just, it was on sequence, like his fucking, you saw his drill instructor hat pop, you know, and I'm just like, oh fuck, you know, like, and I'm like seeing in my peripherals this motherfucker just steaming, walking like head down, and I'm like, oh my god, did he see me, dude? Comes over and pops me right in the fucking ear, pulls me out to the middle of the squad base. You fucking ever touch yourself or itch yourself again, I'll fucking rip your ear off on your throat. And I'm just like, yes, sir, this recruit. We had to talk in third person the whole fucking time when we're in there. But man, let me tell you, dude, it was nothing but that. Everybody just, you just didn't want to be the guy.
Yeah.
I mean, I was running everywhere, Mach 10 speed, because you didn't want to be the slowest one. Because as soon as they watch you jog, they're like, you. It's like, go to the slaughterhouse.
Yep.
And you just leave in the fucking puddle of sweats down on the fucking deck in front of you, man. Like, boot camp is no shit joke. Marine Corps boot camp, it is balls to the wall, bro. 12 weeks. It's hella like that last week when you go through the crucible. So in the Marine Corps, when you actually become a Marine, they put you through a thing called a crucible. It's like a 52-hour deal, 50-something miles or something, whatever. It's like a 2-day course. And you get put into squads, and you do all these courses. You go through OR courses. You go through just simulations. You have to do teamwork to get through certain things. Like, and so you do all this thing, and then at the end you climb up this motherfucker. It's called the Reaper. And once you make it to the top of there, they give you your Eagle Globe and Anchor. And from that point in time, you are now considered a Marine. You're no more of a recruit. So you're now allowed to look like a Marine. Like before, they had you looking like a recruit by making you fold your fucking boots up, like your trousers up. You weren't allowed to blouse them. They had like numbers on us, like, our platoon. And if you were a diet recruit like I was, you had fucking lines on your shit. But man, once you got that Eagle Globe and Anchor, I cried like a little fucking girl up there on that mountain, dude, because it was the first time in my life that I ever really completed something so challenging.
Mm-hmm.
When I knew there was times that I fucking hurt so bad and I wanted to quit on myself.
Sure.
But these motherfuckers didn't let me quit to my left and my right, and they made me go. And so I just knew, like, I'm a different kind of person than I ever was before. I have so much more in me than I ever fucking knew before, because these guys brought that out of me. And so, like, when you ever think in yourself, like, oh, I can't do this shit, bullshit, you got it in you. There is still that extra tank. You just got to push yourself past it. And when you do, it's a whole nother level you reach. Right?
You know, man, that comes to a really good point, Bryan. A lot of us forget just what we know that we are capable of. We have shown it to ourselves. And like right now, like say for instance, today, the struggles that I have confidence that I'm going to get right through them. I've been through way worse. And so as long as we keep that mentality, man, we can also heal that way too. So good point, man. Good point.
Yeah, we are resilient, and we were all trained to be resilient, and we were all trained to adapt and overcome. And so because you got to be able to do that when you're fucking you're put in a warrior position and you got to go fight a war. You got to adapt and overcome. You got to be the best version of yourself at all times, because that fucking time you decide to, take a time off, be lazy, that could mean life or death for you and your fucking group. Yep. You know what I mean? So I'd never learned so much about myself, but becoming a Marine, right?
Hell yeah.
And I gotta say, the Marine Corps is one of the unique fucking fighting forces for a reason. They teach us custom and courtesies. They teach us history of all the people that came before us. I mean, I never learned so much, man. And, a lot of people call Marines fucking jarheads and, crayon eaters and, but I'll tell you what, bro, they are very educated, more than you'll ever believe. And when it comes to fucking being put in a situation, like you said, bro, there's no fucking failure to any of us. Like, you're not trained to fail.
That's right.
So that's why when we do transition out of the military, it's very hard for us, because you know what the fuck the world is? Failure. There's a lot of it, but you know what it is? It's mediocre. It's what you do to that failure, bro. You don't let that failure you don't let that failure be the identifier of who you are, right? You are not that person. You can be better. We already know. Failure is just something that we decide how we want to measure it. It's our own measurement. Yeah, each of us, and we own it. So I'm just very proud that I went through such a lot of things that I did. Got to experience combat. I did end up deploying to the Middle East in 2003. We were the initial party that got sent over there. I got sent over there early January of 2003. It was January 15th. I know the date exactly. Wow. I went and got a fucking tattoo that night too, because I didn't know if this was going to be my last fucking time ever being on American soil. So I wanted to kind of do a couple things before I left, right? And because it's a weird thing, man. It's a weird thing training, right? Because when you train, you start to feel a little bit complacent with shit, right? It's just because it's not real, and that. Yeah. When you get fucking orders and then it becomes the real deal, Holyfield, that does something to you, man. You know what I mean? It does something to you. I felt some kind of way about it. You know, I felt all kinds of emotions, to be quite honest with you, because I don't know. This is the last time I would see my family, the last time I would see my friends, the last time I would see America, you know. But when I got to that fucking Middle East, I said, no, this is not the place that I will finish my fucking life.
Yeah.
That place sucks. And it was a mission of mine to make sure I fucking am going to die in America. You know what I mean? If I'm going to die, it will be in America.
You know, man, that brings up another good point for me too. In 92, or actually it was 93 before I went to Somalia, that would have been my first deployment. You know, I was with my wife, you know, my wife now, we had just been married and we had just found out that now we were pregnant with my daughter, you know, and so I had to leave. What I told her, and I'm so glad that I was able to keep this to be true, was that I am not meant to die overseas. I am meant to die next to you. That's what I told her back in 93. And thank God that I was able to hold true to that, man. But the promises that we make, man,
they're not guaranteed.
No.
There's no guaranteed, man.
Yeah. The promises we make, man.
Yeah. It was a blessing and a curse at the same time, kind of going over there, right?
Mm-hmm.
The awesome thing was getting to see all of our brothers and sisters work together for one good fucking common mission. And it was amazing because you don't see that normally on the state side, right? Mm-mm. We may do some training exercises, but bringing everybody together, all armed forces, and then fucking, you know, having a mission and then all being together in one place and then going out and having to do something together as well. It was beautiful to watch that shit actually unfold in person, right? Like to see it. You know, I look at it as now I'm a part of history and I got to fucking literally see it.
Yeah.
And it was weird part of history for me and because I was in harm's way for a little while there we were getting launched at when, you know, I was a supply guy, you know, and so a lot of people think Pogue, you know, right off rip. But, you know, the thing about it is a lot of us support guys are actually fucking a sitting duck and we are a target. And that's exactly what happened to us at Camp Commando Kuwait. If you were ever to Google Camp Commando Kuwait, you could see that they were a heavily big target when the war kicked off. And what set the tone for me is, you know, war got declared. It was nighttime for us. It was night. And that's when the shock and awe campaign took place, when the B-2s just went and started plummeting and destroying Iraq. But we watched Bush declare war on TV. And at that moment in time, everybody's just like, we don't know what to expect now. Now it's game on. They called the game.
Yeah.
They said let's get it home. I mean, you know what I mean? Literally.
Yeah.
It's time to put your fucking boots on, your fucking flak jackets, your gas mask, strap your weapons on, and don't fucking leave them anywhere, you know. And it wasn't until that next morning, man, that we first took the first incoming. It came through. It was a Patriot missile. It was very low, so it wasn't detected by any kind of radars. Our first inclination that it happened is as I'm walking out of this dungeon, like there's like these like double doors. I'm kind of walking out, and my buddy's on the phone or at the computer actually, and I just hear, and it sounded like a fucking, you know, when someone does a cannonball into water and it kind of sounds like a doop.
Yeah,
you know, that's exactly, it was like doop, boom, fucking. And at that time, man, I went to a whole nother level, bro. I went to a whole nother fucking level. I was like, this is real for us. They know where the fuck we're at now. And no missiles are going. No, we have no radar detection, nothing. We're out here like sitting ducks. And so fucking everybody's now freaking out. And so we're running out. I'm running out of this building. People are running in because their dumbasses didn't have their gear on them like they were told to have their fucking gear on them. So they're having to run back into the building as we're running out. So I fucking literally knocked the fuck out of this guy Funes. Like, I mean, I like a football player. Like, cause I mean, even in the Marine Corps, I played fucking football on the football team and shit. I was just, so I boom, fucking on actually shiver him. I'm like, you all right? And he's like, yeah. And I just fucking kept running. I'm the first motherfucker in that scud bunker, dude. I'm probably the biggest fucking one out of these guys, but I'm one of the first fuckers in there, man. And I get in there and everybody starts coming in, right? And everybody's panicking at this point in time. Like, we got to fucking put our gas mask on. We don't know if it's dirty bombs. We got a whole bunch of fucking Hajis with us. They're all workers for, they're all doing work inside our Camp Commando. And now they're in this fucking thing with us, and they're literally like the parrots. Everybody's kind of watching them to see if they're doing the funky chicken dance. You know what I mean? We're all putting our gas mask on. And as I'm in there, bro, I just start laughing. My ass off.
What?
And I'm like, because I'm like, holy fuck, this is real. I'm like, it's reality for me, but I'm acting, like my daughter does this. Like, even when she like goes to get shots and she's scared as fuck, she's laughing her ass off. It's like, I didn't mean to laugh, like in a way of like, I thought like this was a funny deal. I was just thinking, everything recapped to me like, oh, I just knocked the shit out of Funes. I got these people kind of crying in front of me, like they're like losing it, and this staff sergeant of mine, who is a fucking big bodybuilder, Marine Corps bodybuilder, he was infantry and then ended up being supply. He comes and hears me laughing and fucking dude punches me with 2 fists in my chest, hard as fuck, and then grabs me and pulls me out to him, and he says, "Hey, you dumb fuck. What the fuck you laughing at? Do you realize we might have to go put some of your fucking buddies in body bags?" And I'm like, that's like all of a sudden it just like rang to me like, this isn't a drill no more, man. You know what I mean? There could be dead dudes because we had no idea where the impact was. And based on the impact and the feeling of it all, it literally felt like it was right on us. And it felt like it hit the Seacock, which is the fucking, the central intelligence where all the command was. I mean, that was the main place where all the officers, everything. Well, when everything goes down, they have NBC guys, which are like the biological guys. They go out and they go test the bombs and shit. Well, this thing was literally about 500 to 1,000 meters outside of our perimeter, but dead ass center on that Seacock. So it was intended for that Seacock. And then at that point in time, man, it just became real. They started launching the fucking shit out of missiles at us. They had to put Patriot missiles up into the mountaintops so that the Patriot missiles could take them out before they had impact on us. And so, man, I'll tell you, feeling like a fucking sitting duck in that situation is unbelievable because there's not much you can really do. But you have a mission and still that needs to be completed because we're at war, and I still got to supply the fucking frontline dudes. You know what I mean? We had a huge responsibility to take care of the 1st Marine Division, and they kind of were the frontline dudes. So as much as shit was happening, we still had to work. And you had to work through it, and you had to keep your head on. You know, for a few seconds there, a lot of motherfuckers lost it, right? You could tell the ones that weren't ready for the real deal shit, because training is not the same as when it's real. You know what I mean? There's only so much you can do with training. So, yeah, I ended up being over there from January to June, and I ended up getting a Red Cross message. And at this time, if you guys remember correctly, around April time frame is when Saddam Hussein got caught. They tore down his statue. We're kind of like, yeah, we won the war,
right?
Kind of taking that like that victory flag, even though we all know that didn't happen that way. Sunnis and the Shiites, and I mean everybody else started coming out of the woodworks and trying to take over, right? And so that's what we started fighting. And so anyways, the Red Cross message, I ended up getting to go home early because my grandmother was passing away, and didn't make it in time for her to pass away, but I was able to, go to the funeral and stuff like that. And I was kind of a short-termer at that time. I was already at the end of my 4-year contract. In the Marine Corps, they allowed you, if you had saved up to 63 days, you could get out that early. So I mean, obviously I didn't do no fucking leave for, a long time. So I saved those 63 days. And when I got back from after the Red Cross message, I would go back to base. It was kind of weird because everybody was still deployed, and they had a skeleton crew who we had to support, because even on the state side, everybody was working their ass off because we kept having to ship supplies over to them, in these containers. And then but they were long. It took forever to get shit over to them because we had to go across the ocean with all this stuff. You can't get that much material without using a boat. Right, and using these big ass, fucking 40-foot, 20-foot containers, and so it was kind of weird, man, kind of checking out and why everybody was still kind of gone. So I didn't really get to say my goodbyes to a lot of my friends. And in the Marine Corps, man, when you're done, you're done. When it's time to check out, you're kind of done to them. They're at a point of time they write you off. You're a civilian. You're going to be a civilian, you know. And some of them, it's because they're hating on you. They want out, and or they want you to stay because you had a good time together. And it's sad watching your buddies. That was hard, bro. That was one of the hardest things for me, man. And there wasn't a lot of we didn't do going away parties for people, bro. It was you show up to work one day and the motherfucker's already gone. Sometimes they even they PS guys. And dude, back then, man, we had a pager if you were fucking lucky, and maybe you were kind of getting into the thing where they had little cell phones, but we weren't good at keeping in touch, and there wasn't social media. There was MySpace or something like that, or back then MySpace. Or something. Fucking,
I remember that.
But we didn't really, we weren't all into that shit, dude. Because I didn't have time for it. I was fucking, when I was deployed, bro, there was no fucking playtime much. You know what I mean? But yeah, the separating part, that was rough, and then you get kind of put back into a place that you were, but it was many years ago, and you're not the same person that you were when you left. So now you're going back to your family, your friends, and you've been through some things. Your life, the way you look of life is different now. So it was kind of hard to get back into the swing of things with my friends, and even, I think a lot of us just aren't friends anymore like we used to be, and we all got the same tats and stuff from high school. My closest friends now are guys that I serve with, and the guys that I actually, we went and did shit together, and we got to know each other at such an intimate level, because when you got a lot of time, bro, you learn about their family, you learn about their whole fucking life of how fucked up it was or whatever, and they hear about how fucked up your shit was, because a lot of us, man, all had fucked up childhoods. A lot of guys that join are able to handle the shit because they come from a home that wasn't a good place. So that's why you see a lot of military members, they go there and that becomes their fucking family.
Yeah.
And sometimes blood doesn't always define someone as a family member, in my opinion.
Agreed.
So, but yeah, man, I struggled with getting out, and I was lucky. I got into a job pretty quick, right? So I got into aerospace company called Northrop Grumman, and now we'll go into some of the weed stuff. Now, once I got out, I knew I had to get a job, but I sure as shit needed to smoke. I wanted to smoke some weed, So, it had been a while, and I didn't really, know anything. And at this time, I guess I'll start talking about things I never really talked about, but I didn't know I had any kind of PTSD or anything. There wasn't much knowledge about PTSD, shell shock. They call it all kinds of different things throughout the years, but no one ever educated me on anything that I would feel. But I started getting weird shooting pains down my hands and arms and shit, and like my feet, and like just shooting pains of just sweaty palms, sweaty fucking feet, anxiousness, like just like for no fucking reason, and always feeling like something bad was gonna happen. Everywhere I went, it just felt like something bad was gonna happen, and I always started looking at people as like, that fucking dude has a flip phone. He's a fucking bad guy. My wife and I, we had to leave concerts because of my intuitions or my PTSD, because I don't trust motherfucking people. If I even think there's a problem, I'm out of there. You know what I mean? Or so I found weed to help me with a lot of that stuff, right? Help me in a way that I was able to be more of like a even kilter, because I could be high strung motherfucker, or I can be low, either way too sometimes. I mean, but I usually fly high, right? I'm fucking, when I smoke weed, you guys know I'm ready to go. I wake up, piss and vigor, whatever fucking saying. But that was the one thing that really, honestly, at the end of the day, kind of helped me mellow out and start sleeping better at night. And I call sleeping good at night a good solid 4 to 6 hours, right? Because that's kind of where I'm at, because I would wake up with like really bad back pains, and I would only get maybe 4 hours, but I would feel kind of rested, right? Like, okay, at least I got the 4 or 6 hours, because I'm very comfortable going to sleep, but when I wake up from my sleep, I'm uncomfortable. I'm like fucking arms fell asleep, and then I got to switch this shoulder, that fucking fell asleep. Now I'm on my back where I'm fucking waking myself up, snoring, just starting to realize like, man, my fucking sleep is horrible. And when I was working at Northrop Grumman, I had to be up at and ready for work. My shit started at fucking 5 a.m. in the morning. My shift was at 5 to 3:30, so it was a long day. So if I was having a rough night of sleep, man, I was waking up already, having a rough issue. So I would already be somewhat depleted, and I started not being myself, man. I really started losing myself, I think, just from the sheer fact of lack of sleep, kind of not understanding what the fuck is going on with me. Like I've never felt these things before, and being raised in a way, in a culture of like, suck it up, shut the fuck up, deal with it, keep pushing, you don't got time for this. That's how I was, and just not owning anything, and just not saying I had a problem. So having kids, it trickled down into my kids, where I started treating my kids like recruits. Wasn't a good dad for my first 2 children, and unfortunately it took me fucking until they were pretty much adults to realize that shit, and I'm blessed enough that I have a new little dude that's 7 years old, that I'm able to give him a better version and a better dad and a better chance. I have another opportunity to make right. So I'm taking every opportunity and advantage of that, because through podcasting, as a matter of fact, when I kind of found podcasting, it really was very therapeutic for me. It was the most therapeutic thing actually I've ever done. And I didn't have to go sit in front of a therapist. It was me sitting in front of a fucking mic. But talking about this stuff, man, it really started bringing a lot of things to the forefront, where I was able to own some things with my kids and realize some things and say, you know what? I fucked up with you too. I love you guys.
Yeah.
Don't ever think I don't love you. But I wasn't the best dad, and you guys deserved a better dad.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean I can't do better from here on out.
Right.
You know
That's
what I mean?
right.
So it's giving me that
I'm in the
opportunity.
same boat, brother.
Yeah, it's giving
I'm
me
in the
that
same
opportunity to be a better dad, you know, and
Well,
have a better relationship with them now.
good, man. Good. I have something that I wanted to clarify with you, Bryan. So you were talking about basically social anxieties, hypervigilance, maybe a little bit of restlessness, if lack of sleep, all these different things that clearly a lot of us suffer from, you know, especially the hypervigilance for me, the anxieties, social anxiety is a big one for me. Maybe some episode we can get into just what I don't do. But anyway, what I was trying to get at is, what style of cannabis are you going with, sativas or indicas, and what delivery system? Do you like the flower? Do you like the edibles for the full body thing? What's helping you and how are you delivering it?
All right. So for me, man, the flower is the best source for me. It's the quickest way to get it into you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, to me, the most potent for me.
Mm-hmm.
I have done some edibles. Now, edibles, because I'm a bigger dude, maybe, or my liver process things differently, I don't really know, but it doesn't seem to hit me unless I do a very high dosage of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if I do mess with like drinks or something, I go with 1,000 milligrams, bro, and I go for the ride. You know what I mean? I drink a whole fucking 1,000 milligrams. And I went to Disneyland one time because that's, you know,
Nice.
I got myself prepped up for Disney. If we go to any fucking, my wife takes me to all these parks. She's the one that helps me a lot more with my PTSD by making me do shit that I don't fucking normally probably wouldn't do.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm going, I'm going to be all medicated up real well. You know what I mean? So I'll take that 1,000 milligrams and it's like I'm in my own fucking amusement park. In an amusement park, you know what I mean?
Hey, this is a great time.
But indica,
yeah,
let's go ahead. We'll take a quick break, and sounds good. Let's go ahead and do that.
We'll get back to the cannabis stuff when we get back, man. And
since we're switching it up,
we're trying to help veterans find a way to help them, you know. And if your story and what you do to help with your stuff helps them, we did what we did what we came to do.
Yes,
100%. All right, here we go with a quick break.
Yeah.
Welcome to Every Day is a Saturday USMC Veteran, the podcast that shines light on the incredible stories of military veterans and first responders. Join us as we invite heroes to share their journeys, unpacking their experiences in service, the transition to civilian life, and the realities of overcoming or dealing with PTSD. From military service to everyday life, hear how they're navigating challenges and finding purpose in the world today. Each episode is a testament to resilience, hope, and the power of community. Tune in to Every Day is a Saturday USMC Veteran, because every day is worth celebrating. Follow on your favorite listening platform or go to www.edasUSMCvet.com.
And we're back.
And so I didn't say indica is my favorite, right? Indica is definitely mine because you guys already see I'm very high, and even with some indica, I'm still going. But I love indica because it helps me with the anxiety. If you already got anxiety, I would definitely say watch out for sativas. Sativas can induce your stress or induce your anxiety and make you feel more anxiety ridden. So you do got to be careful when you're doing your stress. Now, if you do feel that when you're like, oh my God, everybody's staring at me, kind of feeling, that probably means you have either a hybrid with sativa dominant, or you're smoking a sativa. If you want more of that calm down chill, I'd stress go to indica. Now, I will say that the industry is very polluted now because we as people love to do cool new things. So we have crossbred the shit out of everything. So it is so hard to find something very dominant with either or unless you're kind of going down to the regular strain. A lot of times you're going to find something hybrid.
Yes.
But you can find it more on the indica dominant side or more on the sativa, or you can try to get more of an equal balance. But like for me, I know when I smoke a sativa, for whatever reason, sativas make me cough a lot more than a fucking indica does. And I can't say why, but it is fucking factual for me, man. I'll go sit there and do the exact same puff for one or the other, but that sativa will get me going, oh, fuck. You know. Now indicas get me sometimes too, but sativas for whatever to do that. But yeah, flower is definitely the method I like. My wife wasn't pro weed when I first met her, right? One thing that I always kind of struggled with is meeting someone that it was accepted of me smoking weed and not using weed as some kind of a tool against me, as like, oh, you don't do this because you're smoking weed, or you did this because you smoke weed. You know, I hated that part because people, as soon as they found out that you smoked weed, they tend to kind of blame it on that, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that
explains it. Yeah.
I started getting scared and stopped telling people because I fucking hated that judgment part, right?
Yeah.
You know, I just was like, gosh, damn. You know, I didn't want to be judged. Now today, I don't give a fuck what others think about me, and that's been the most liberating thing in general. So now I'm very free with what I do. And if you don't really like it or it's not your thing, well, you don't have to be a part of it, right? You know what I mean? I'm not going to push anything on anybody or any agenda on anybody. But what I will tell you is that the benefits that I reap from it, and that I was raised to fucking think that, you know, weed was a horrible thing. It's a gateway drug.
Yeah.
You know, all the taboo things that we were raised. I was raised on the SANE campaign, you know what I mean? Or DARE, you know, campaigns. It's great that we have now like shows like your guys' shows to bring education, to bring stories up and show how much people are benefiting from this. Dude, I don't use any kind of fucking pills.
Right.
This is everything I need. You know what I mean? I do take vitamins and indigestion pills because fucking I'm getting old and now I get indigestion. So I take fucking, you know, indigestion. But other than that, you know, this helps me with a lot of different things. And I noticed that when I don't do it, I feel different, you know, or I can feel when I'm not medicated or whatever. I could start feeling that I'm pacing more, or I'm fucking a little more on edge, you know, things like that. So, and my wife, I think she's learned to, you know, like, hey, this is what he likes. But getting kind of, sorry, I got a little bit off track, but back to my wife kind of not accepting it. She actually uses it now, right? She actually uses edibles. She doesn't like to smoke it as much because it burns her throat. But she actually is a proponent of it now because she has felt the benefits from it. You know, a lot of these people who want to get on Xanax and all these other things, guys, one thing may be helping you, but you may be hurting another, right? So like, be careful with the pills you go on. And I'm not telling people to get off your pills, but what I will say is that, you know, finding a healthy way to do this, like I try to be a little bit healthier with it, where I use a bong. And this bong's pretty cool because you can clean it and stuff. It comes off. It's stainless steel. It doesn't break because I've broken a lot of stuff.
I'll tear that down and put it back together, Marine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it quick, guys. You know how we break down. You know, I used to break down M16A2 service rifles. I know they're using something better now, but but yeah, so I like to use bongs as well as far as my method goes, because I feel like the water kind of like at least gets some of that stuff. Usually if I use a pipe or something, I'm like, you know, that glass pipe, you know, you get that fucking shot into the back of your throat real quick. or it's a cherry, dude. You suck the cherry through that.
Oh no. Yeah. You don't want that.
But
that's funny.
You know, I grew up too with my dad. He always kind of, you know, was a marijuana user, and I kind of grew up with him doing it. But it was also a good way for him and I to have a connection with each other. We'd go into the garage, we'd have our smoke sessions, and we would just chat it up, man. So it was very healing for us as well. And having that commonality and being able to just to kind of talk about things. I mean, I've been able to do a lot of healing on marijuana as well. And being able just to have those conversations with people, it might be tough, right? You know, and not all bridges are repairable. And that's why, like, I'm just a huge advocate for you younger ones out there, man. Like, just don't let life get by you and make so many mistakes that you later look back on and wish you wouldn't have done it. You know, try to correct your shit as soon as you can, man. And don't be too prideful because you're young and think that you got nothing wrong with you and you're unstoppable. You know, it's okay to be a warrior with fucking feelings. You know, I believe that you're only going to be as powerful to all of us as much as you're willing to educate us and share with us. And so it's only important for each and every one of us to kind of be transparent with what we've been through. I know it's not easy, man. You know, it's not easy accepting your faults or accepting some of the shit you've done, but you know what? You've done them. Mm-hmm. And the only way to fucking move on is own it. You know, and that's how we move forward. And then you don't dwell on it no more. You deal with it properly and you move forward.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And to all of our brothers and sisters out there that are listening, before you ever make a life-changing decision, reach out to us. That's what we're here for. Find a battle buddy. Find a battle buddy. You were given a gift of life. You need to keep your life and find your true calling. And we're here to help you do that. Okay.
100%, you know, and let that be known to everybody. There's a community of people out there that love you and will be here for you and care for you, man. You know, whenever I hear of a number coming through that someone decided to take their own life, it hurts me, man. I don't even know.
Right.
But it really does hurt me each and every time I hear that someone else decided to end things and before they decided to reach out, you know, because there is a community of brothers and sisters out there that care for you and want you to be okay. Mm-hmm. And it's okay not to be okay.
Right.
It's okay, man. You know what? I know it's hard sometimes, you know, feeling like you got to go accomplish the world. Fuck. You know what? Take one day at a time. You know, don't go boil in the ocean. It ain't never going to work.
I think what happens, and I'm just trying to use common sense and think about it realistically. I think what happens is we get to a point where we just feel there's no hope left. Your hope for a better tomorrow, a better year, a better month, a better week, a better day. You lose. Not one direction you turn do you see any hope whatsoever. I think that's where those decisions get made. That it's better. There's got it. Wherever there is next, there's got to be better than this.
Yeah.
And
well, you know what?
Those things, but we're here to say bullshit. There's hope every day. We're showing each and every one of our veterans who were at the brink. We've shown veterans who died 6 times. And they're still here, and they're creating wonderful things in the community, and they got a light. They're a beacon of light. And to lose one more veteran is just fucking nonsense when all of us are here saying, hey, don't lose hope. There's always a chance for a better tomorrow. I swear to God.
And I encourage you to never forget your training.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Yeah, you may not still be that, you know, guy that when you enlisted and why you served, but don't forget what you were trained and how you were trained to be resilient. Mm-hmm. You were taught how to persevere. You were taught how to adapt and overcome. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So let's not fucking lose that. And also, we were badass when we were all on that field together. We could still be badass off that field together.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And we got to look at each other as like we need each other at the end of the day. The rest of the world is falling a fucking apart. We need to be that example for the entire world. We didn't look at each other for a race, religion, creed, none of that. It was, hey, we're green. We're all green at the end of the day.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So I think if we could all be a good example for even just, not just our brothers and sisters, but for the entire fucking country, you know, we can be that example. We can be, you know, we just got to keep pushing it and show everybody that, you know what, man, we are better together than against each other.
Yep. Absolutely, man. Be that example. Be that example, folks. It's not hard. As a matter of fact, it's therapy sometimes. And when by you going out and just being available for another veteran, being that person to be the listening ear, that matters. That means everything to that said individual at the time of crisis. If you're just there and they know you're there, that could have saved their life immediately.
Absolutely.
Be that person.
I've seen it.
Be the light in their darkness. Be the light in someone's darkness is what I say.
Yep.
Be that light instead of the darkness.
I've seen lives saved by reaching out and just saying hi. I've seen lives saved by finding a certain strain of cannabis that takes a whole bunch away, you know, for you to start getting your thoughts back straight.
And also, there's been known people
saved by this.
There's also been known people to get help with the crisis lifeline. You know, it's as easy as call. You just press 988 and then press 1 for you veterans. They've been very helpful. They can't exactly grant you the world or anything, but they can at least provide you some resources and maybe talk you down from that ledge. You know what I mean? We've had TJ on who's used this line before, and it shed some light for him in his darkness. So we need everybody. We all need. Yep, it does.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Well, damn. What a story, Bryan. Well, I think we could probably go for hours and hours with some of your shit, man. That's awesome.
And I could talk forever, you know, so. But no, I do appreciate you guys. And I think, like I said, it's a pleasure. You guys kind of being the first time of me actually producing a show. And if anybody out there, if you're a veteran and you're looking and you want to start something up, hit me up. You know, I'm trying to kind of get stuff going. I probably only have room for maybe one more show. I don't want to overdo myself and take away from any other shows, but I love doing this, and I appreciate you having the faith in me to lead you guys, through this and help you guys as well. This is what it's all about. This is called networking. This is tapping into your resources. You know, if you guys want to start a nonprofit, why wouldn't you go start someone who has a successful nonprofit? If you want to start something in whatever industry, why wouldn't you talk to someone if you had a friend in that pocket to get you some help? And that's exactly, I'm here for that. And I'm just blessed to meet you guys. You guys are amazing dudes, and their heart and their intentions are great. And also, if you guys want to watch them on TV, they are now on Citizen Green TV, which is an amazing network themselves. It's Canada and the US coming together and trying to fight veteran suicide. And so it's an amazing effort by two amazing countries who care about their veterans. So, it's exciting that, and exciting to see where this goes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just real quick for our listeners, for our brothers and sisters out there, we've got sickcallwithdoc@gmail.com. We've got the Sick Call with Doc Facebook page that has a messenger. We all have our own personal Facebook stuff that you can get a hold of us. If you ever feel like you've been painted yourself into a corner, give us a call. We'll put on a fan. We'll dry the floor. Come walk with us. Okay? Stay with us, man. Please.
Oh, yeah.
That's 100%.
Couldn't have said it better, Rod. Good shit.
Absolutely. Well,
all
you guys,
right, man.
this was a hell of a show, man. And I appreciate this. And like I said, thanks for all the listeners out there. You guys, please share this out with everybody. this isn't just a veteran show. This is also very informative for family members who may be like, don't want their, or feel some kind of a way if their veteran decided they want to use cannabis. Like, this is for everybody, so you could kind of see, that it's not so bad. You know what I mean? So this is for everybody. This is not just dedicated to veterans. This is dedicated to everybody to be informed, be educated, understand. There's other methods to medicine, natural ways.
Yes.
And let me finish by fixing my start. Devil dog, Semper Fi, brother. I love you.
Semper Fi, guys, and I love you guys too. And thank you for what you guys are doing. And let's keep kicking some ass. All right, boys.
Till
next time.
Take care.
Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe.